me.
And y'all, that entire intro was just muted, so that's always good. But you know what? We're here anyway. It's really fitting for how this stream is going. But hey, the frames aren't dropping anymore. Like I said at the top of the stream, this is the Root Canal Wreckords routine checkup. It's, you know, because kicking teeth, dentist jokes, you know, that's great. That's, it just never gets old. But I'm here with the return of one of my oldest friends, Papa L from Knifethroat, and a new friend, Bex, and we're hanging out talking about a lot of stuff, folks. How are y'all doing? Are you sweating from all just the problems that have gone on in the technological world? How are you?
That's showbiz, baby. We're good. We are good. We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us on.
I don't keep the heat on in my house because it's expensive, so I'm not sweating. I'm cold.
Oh, well, I feel like, you know, I'm sweating now and it's because like a fashion thing. That's it. So I got to match with y'all. I feel left out of the beanie brigade. Yeah, y'all, we're here. We're having a good time. And let's just get this all out of the top of the way, because this is what we do on Kicking Teeth. We like to do a little teeth cleaning right in the beginning where we let you all know like what's going on with Kicking Teeth, how you can support the charity, all that stuff. So then we can just focus on our guests. So remember, we're here like we are every single week, every single podcast stream, raising 100% of our donations straight to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital to help fight families, help fight childhood cancer and the families affected by childhood cancer. They're an incredible organization. Donate every single cent and dollar to making sure that the families affected by childhood cancer don't have to pay $1 and can just focus on making their child better. That's the important thing there. As far as Kicking Teeth goes, if you want to support us, hey, a follow on any of our platforms, Twitch. We got the brand new Patreon, $3. That is all we are charging anybody until we move into the new studio. It's the end of Generation 3 here. So yeah, get it. You can vote on the extra series, download the podcast, ask questions for the podcast, which we have one for y'all later that I will pull up. It's from an infant, actually, friend's baby. They told me they typed it. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. So be excited. And then, yeah, if you got Slamazon Prime, that means you can get a free Twitch Prime sub to us or any of your favorite streamers, and it helps us out a ton. But that's not why we're here. We're here with Knifethroat because, y'all, you got something going on here. I've been hearing on the winds, if you will. I've been hearing something about a show tomorrow of some kind, possibly.
It's actually Saturday.
So I'm a good host. That really helps.
But to be fair, Becky is playing a show tomorrow in Brooklyn, right? Is Bar Frida in Brooklyn?
You know what? It may as well be Brooklyn.
It's Ridgewood. It's Brooklyn,
Ridgewood, yeah.
Queens Corner. So I'll be there supporting Bex, but our show is Saturday. We're playing in Yonkers at Yonkers Brewery for the 914 Collective, who is my buddy AJ from the band Shakeout. But yeah, we're playing, starts at 8 o'clock, 4-band bill. It's us, Antinoun from Westchester. I think Sales Ahead is the other band. And then our friends in Worse Off, who I've been playing shows with since I was like 17, 16. So it's going to be a good time. Lots of friends. It's like a hometown show for me because I'm 20 minutes from the brewery, which is great. I don't have to drive very far. And it's going to be a good one.
Hell yeah. Now, y'all been getting out. You know, the first thing I saw with Elio this year, you know, on the socials there was Knifethroat's getting active. 2024 is a big year. There's a lot of things brewing, and we can start getting to some of that. But before we do, this is a different Knifethroat and a bit of a different lineup since we did our first ever Kicking Teeth live stream with y'all. I believe that was at AMH years ago. You got Bex as part of the crew now. And I want to ask, Bex, how is your experience, you know, joining like in this lineup? How are you vibing with the band? How is everything going? Oh no, Elio's all right. We gotta cut his cam and his feed.
We just have to boot him.
We can.
So that's how that's going. No, it's been awesome. It's honestly been long overdue. I mean, Elio's been like trying to make music with me for a very long time. We've been acquainted for years, but like only just started getting into making music together just over a year ago. So, but it's been fun. It's very different from anything I've been doing. So some background about me is historically I have only played in ska bands.
Oh, we're gonna have to end this
So
stream. It's just not. No, there's gonna be like, it's gonna be like skaters eating mozzarella sticks and all that. We can't. It's gonna get too Chuck E. Cheese in here. I gotta go. No, ska is
You made
incredible.
that
I
mo-
understand.
You made that mozzarella stick joke, and about 25 people are going to send Becky and me death threats now.
Oh no.
Yep.
All
Yep.
with horned instruments and brass. They're just gonna come for everybody on the show. But continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, so it's funny. I left the last band, and the day that I decided that would be my last show with that band, immediately after the show, went to go hang out with some mutual friends, including Elio. And Elio goes, "How was your show?" I was like, "I'm quitting the band tomorrow." He goes, "Good, join Knifethroat." And I said, "Done." So done. Where I'm in. So um yeah, it's been a long time in the making, but like I'm thrilled to be part of it. And yeah, it's been great. Just really learning how to do things differently other than only playing a horn, and uh really just being part of building this from, I don't want to say from the ground up, but essentially really taking this to a new place with the team. So
For
it's
sure.
been really good.
No, I mean, like, oh, go ahead, Elliot. No, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
I was
off.
just going to say, just to add to it, this is like historically, Knifethroat has always been songs that I've written that I've had my friends play on to make it a full band thing. And it wasn't super collaborative because I would have ideas, or I would literally just say like, okay, hey, play this instrument. And then even with like our first EP, I played the guitar, the banjo, I sang, and then I like, even for a lot of the vocal melodies, I would tell our old members just, hey, you have a different voice than me, play, like, sing here and do this. And with Becky, Sam, and Brian now, it's something like truly collaborative. And what we've been coming up with is just like a totally different monster. It's not just like it's not the Elio show anymore. And despite being the like doing a lot of the vocals and writing a lot of the lyrics, like it truly is like taking, it's awesome seeing, like Becky mentioned it, but I think they downplayed it a little bit. Like they do so much with the songwriting and with the composing that like you're going to see once we start recording a lot of the stuff, a lot of the instrumentation, a lot of the vocal melodies, a lot of piano lines, a lot of horn lines, a lot of it is the only reason the song exists is because Becky composed it and put it together, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like, I don't want to, like, make y'all blush or anything like that of any kind, but it really, yeah, excuse me, it really shows like just the new writing and how much you have like added to the band and how it's a completely different structure in the most recent tracks that you've released. I mean, Armageddon whatever is such a fucking jam. I fucking bump that pretty often. And then Property Value, like, just I told Elle this just like recently, the last time we were hanging out or talking on the phone. You know, getting to watch Knifethroat kind of grow from like, the last couple EPs, but then you get to this EP and the production quality is just like through the roof. And I mean, I guess that, I was going to save it for later in the show, but now is probably the perfect time. You're talking about new stuff. Can we get any details, any little leaks, any indication, any what's going on, kids?
Yeah, we're writing an album. We're writing a full length. I've been in bands since I was 15 years old, and I've never, despite trying in every single band I've been in to write a full length, I've never in my life written a full length record. And I sat down with Brian, who's been the main songwriter with me, our bass player. And I sat down with Becky and I said, I want to do this because the three of us are the main writers. Sam is an incredible drummer and an awesome musician, but he hates writing and he says that that's not what he wants to do in a band. So with me, Becky, and Brian, like we've been sitting down, but we have about 8 or 9 songs that are all at least like 75% done, and it's just kind of pushing them over the final end. And then we have to write like 2 or 3 more. We're taking our time though. Knife Throat, while it is really fun and really gratifying, and we do spend a lot of time and energy on it, it's not our full-time jobs. Like I teach full time, and I'm really, really, really into teaching. And Becky's playing in like 18 bands always, and filling in for people and writing horn lines. So like we have lives outside of the music, but we want to take the time and really. So I don't know if it's going to come out this year. It probably, honestly, if I'm going to be realistic, it'll probably come out next year. But we're writing full length, and I'm really excited for what it's going to be and what's it's been shaping up to be. Just for me as like a guitarist and a songwriter, it's the best stuff I've ever written. Which I know every band's going to say that with their new record, but I'm pretty fucking excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, you came like between you and Brian, like you both came in like head first with a whole bunch of ideas, and like the fun part is like when you see skeletons of songs and then you're like, okay, what can we do to this? How can we open this up? How can we add to it? So we've just been like we've been doing that, and every single time we get together, it's just like, wait a second. Something can go here now. Or, oh, I heard something different here that I didn't hear last time, in the same spot. So um it's nice to be able to take our time and like really let this thing cook. That way we could put out a really cool product and get it out to as many ears as we can. And if we decide we want to pitch it to a DIY label, then we'll have it all ready to go. And you know um we can work on that. But I think this is also a good year for us to like work on our branding, work on our marketing, like all the stuff that no one talks about in bands necessarily unless they're complaining about it. But for us, it feels less like a chore, which is nice, and it's like actually been a lot of fun to do. Um, we can get into my passion about sticker branding
Oh,
later if you so choose.
we will be doing that at the end. I'm gonna write that down for myself. Sticker
Sticker branding.
branding. Okay. I lied.
That
Showbiz, baby. Hang on. I'll actually write it down just to prove how dedicated I am. Sticker
While you're writing
branding.
that too, I can just elaborate a little bit more. That's been kind of the fun part this time around with this band. I can't explain to you how much of a relief it's been with Knife Throat to have Becky, and I'm not trying to blow too much smoke towards Becky because if they
You're
get a
blowing
big
too
hit,
much.
I know it's but like
Coming from a
be,
horn player. Anyway, sorry, I had to make a sick joke. Go
Toot
ahead.
toot, toot
just
toot.
not being the only person promoting the band and marketing and going to shows and handing out flyers and stickering places, it's been totally reinvigorating, which has been fun. There is one person I want to talk about before we move on, especially if we're going to talk about the new album.
Yeah.
The unofficial official fifth member of Knife Throat, right? There's four of us, right?
Yep.
I'm here. You don't
um
have to hide it from.
um no is Max Rouch from Domestic Bliss Recording in New Jersey. So Max is the absolute best. Coolest person I've ever worked with. Easiest recording experience I've ever had ever. He recorded our last two, or he recorded our last little single that we put out, which was Armageddon Whenever, and then Property Value. And I've always heard about him because we've been in the same scene for years and years. I've played with his old bands before and his current band, but something that anyone that's watching should listen to or check out, especially you, Harvey, is my friend John Kaz. John Kaz is an amazing musician who also makes coffee. But Max was heavily, heavily involved in writing John Kaz's records and playing them and recording them. So because they were so good, I knew that Knife Throat had to go to him to do it, and we had such a really good experience with him with the two songs that I asked him if he wanted to be the producer for this new record. I've never like worked with a producer before, and yeah, like DIY music, the term producer is like a loose term, but all the songs I write go to Max. Every song demo I write on a phone app goes to Max. Lyrics and riffs go to Max. And what I want to do and what we're probably going to do before we even start recording is we're demoing out the entire record also. Just because of the nature of Knife Throat, we're going above and like the live show is pretty simple. The live show is me, Becky, Sam, and Brian. It's sax, guitar, bass, drums. Eventually, a keyboard will be added into the mix. But recorded, we know we can do whatever we want, and we have a ton of talented friends and talented musicians we work with. Another addition to the band is Liz Fackelman, who's been on like every recording I've done since the demos. She's from The Best of the Worst and Bad Blooms, but she does trombone and vocals in a lot of the songs. So like I figured, and I think the band feels the same way, is we're going to demo the entire record and we're going to send it out to people that we want to work with. The best part about being in bands forever is we know a lot of really talented people. Craig Shea from the band Cold Rex has played banjo for us before on Armageddon Whenever, so he's probably going to be playing banjo for us again. Like I said, Liz, and then Andy. What's Andy's last name, Bex? Does Andy have a last name?
Just for that, he doesn't. No, just kidding. So yeah, Andy Heaton from Flying Raccoon Suit and Joystick. So yeah, he's one of my bandmates in Joystick, and yeah, we definitely want to ask him to play some sousaphone on some of our stuff. Which, for those who don't know, sousaphone is a tuba. So like we're getting funky with it. Like we're getting weird. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like to grow on what, or to elaborate what Elio had said, like we have a lot of room to let these songs grow and mature and add on to a lot of these things. So demoing is like exciting and terrifying because it's like, oh my god, it feels real. But we know that like when we're with Max though too, like I mean he has already offered so much good input and feedback on like the two songs. We recorded what, 3 demos with them recently. Yeah, so we did 3 demos with him last month before I think. And yeah, like he has really great ideas that we're excited to actually like put into practice. And yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of it comes along.
Yeah.
And
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Harvey. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. If you have thoughts on this, continue. I don't want to segue out. You're good.
Well, just like simple things that I wouldn't tend to think, because I'm like one direction, which is like I want to finish this record, but then I start to forget, like, hey, with the way you write songs, this record might be like an hour long, or it might be like 45 minutes long, which is way more. It's a lot of Elio for anyone, and I even simple things with Max, like we showed Max 3 of the songs, and I remember for one of them we were a little unsure of, like, should we scratch this song? And he's like, no, it's totally different, but that's like the point. And then even like cutting choruses and cutting verses, things like that, like where I need to hear, like, okay, when it's on its own, this song sounds like it could use 3 choruses, but then when you look at it as a whole, it's like, no, it doesn't need the 3. You can keep it at 2, type of thing. Just simple stuff that like I trust Max to do, because Max has been so involved with so many records. He's like a staple of northern New Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, that is like such. I mean, I'll just touch on 2 points, but like one, having someone that is not afraid, like a producer that can really just like be tough with you, be a harsh critic and tell you, like, you know what, we have to trim the fat. I, like you, Elio, like when I used to write music, those are just fake guitars. It's all decorations. It's not real. They're hollow props. But yeah, I'm also someone that like, oh, this 5 to 6 minute song, that's cool, right? And I'll be like, I think like a 4th chorus is, great. But really having somebody that's not afraid to step in and really, tell you like, all right, let's make this catchier. This could be cut here and there. I'm really happy to hear that, one, y'all have somebody that is willing to be that honest with you, but also goes the extra length to make sure that you're happy with it. And on top of that, I really appreciate, and it's weird to say about, punk and ska kids, but I really appreciate how mature you are, y'all, for, really taking your time with the record and not being like, okay, it's got to be out by September. Fall is the coolest time to release. It's such a crazy cycle when people are just trying to do that every year. And I really like, if this is what I'm hearing with Armageddon Whenever, then just as it goes down and like all the ideas y'all are telling me about, I can't freaking wait, but I'm happy that I have to. I'm really excited to hear how that sounds. And yeah, just cheers to y'all again for taking the time and realizing, yeah, you know what? One, we have jobs, we have lives outside of this. Let's not let it affect the record and make it the best record we can. You don't see that like as often these days. So that's really fucking cool to see. Now let's talk. We talked a little bit about how the recording process has been. What has been the most difficult song? I mean, we can start with just Armageddon Whenever, Property Value Redux. Was one of them like more difficult to record than the other? Have there been any songs that have like been, or even on the new record? I know you can't really leak anything, but has anything in particular been giving y'all trouble in the studio at all, or any like frustration, or like technically difficult?
Call it necessarily frustration. So like we have a song that's like mostly assembled, but it's still one of those things. I think it might have been the one that Elio was like asking Max for his feedback, like should we scrap this or whatever. And it's very different than anything we've put out recently, or rather like it's going to be very different. So like it's just one of those things where I don't think we necessarily need or want like instant gratification with it, and I don't think any of us expect for it to be like fully complete like this early into the process. But I know like we have like one or two that are just kind of like the idea is there, but how do we complete it? How do we put the period on this sentence? How do we turn this from a sentence into a paragraph?
For sure.
When it comes to like the full composition and like really making it like a full bodied song.
Yeah.
But like when we were in the studio though, recording the singles EP, we really didn't have any. Everything went really smoothly, honestly.
I mean, it's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm working with talented musicians. I could rely on them to come to the studio with stuff they're ready with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I I mean, you as a musician have known this, Harvey, and I'm sure Becky's dealt with it too. Like, you can sometimes send a notes app or a voice memo into the band chat, and then it's just in the abyss. Nobody ever listens to it. Nobody tries something, and then they get to practice, and they're like, "Oh, hey, there you go." But with everyone here, I think we all have all of us have pride in our instrument and pride in ourselves as musicians and songwriters, and none of us are like really flying by the seat of our pants with Knifethroat. It's not like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or oh, I don't know what I need to like, I don't know what I need to do next. We've all been musicians for half our lives at this point. So like with the writing, if there's ever something we don't know or don't know what to do, it's not a matter of like throwing our hands up and saying, well, I'm done, I don't know. It's literally, I was telling Becky the other day, my main issue is I just have to play more guitar. That's been the best part. Any song I can't finish, any recording part that I'm stuck on, a riff that I can't play, it's not, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. It's no, sit down and play the guitar for more than 20 minutes a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a reward in itself, because it's just, self-discipline and really, getting you to hone your craft there. And like that also shows with, I know Bex, you were saying a little earlier, like, oh, it's like a little scary and a little different, demoing out first, but it's just going to lay like the groundwork for something like absolutely beautiful, I think. I mean, and I like, again, I know I'm like still gushing about Armageddon Whenever, but like, man, I cannot get over those songs. Like the first time I heard that, I'm like, okay, this band's different now. Like I'm an Ant King stan, I'm from that era, but oh no, something's changed. Well, while we're on the like topic of difficulty, is there a song that y'all find difficult to play live? Or like anything, like it can be either one of y'all. Is there a song that's like technically challenging? You're like, okay, full focus, I can't stop. You black out while you're playing.
For me, at least right now, and it's not because it's hard, because I'm not a very good musician, so I'm not writing very technically difficult songs. Um, our song "Early Evening Naps" that we've been playing live, and that's 100% just because I don't practice it enough. And it's still in the process of being finished. So we started playing it out, but it's not entirely 100% done. So lyrically, I always mess up, which is bad because Becky is following my lead. So if I'm singing the wrong thing, Becky's singing the wrong thing, and they are more unhappy about singing the wrong thing than I am.
Although we played it last weekend, I'm pretty sure you got all the lyrics. Like,
Oh, good.
I don't think you fumbled. But like that's also, I mean, that's kind of the challenge. It's like conquer it now while we can, because it's like when you're playing new songs, you could wait till after the album is out. Or like, I mean, the way of a lot of bands now is like play it before it's released and just be like, here's a new one. It's not on streaming yet. So make the audience feel like warm and fuzzy about it. Um,
There you go.
you know, um, it's like you got to do it eventually. So I think, and it's like anything else too. And I think this also goes back to why we had such a like an easy time in the studio recording the two songs was like we just drilled the hell out of them. Like we just kept practicing and practicing. So it's like the repetition is definitely good practice on its own. Um, but when we have the opportunity to apply that practice like in real time, and yeah, I was gonna say that's also, I think that was gonna be my pick. I wasn't sure if I was like allowed to talk about that song just yet since it's not released, but
You can talk
um
about whatever you want.
I'm leaking it all, so
oh
don't worry,
really?
guys. It's already, it's up on the cloud.
um yeah, early evening naps. I won't spoil it too much, but like if you're a fan of the band Foxing, it's like I liken it to like our Foxing tune, just in the way that it's like that it's written and that it's composed, and uh like stylistically it's pretty similar to what you'd expect out of like Albatross era Foxing. But I do some kind of challenging harmonies in that song too, where I'm like, the first couple times we rehearsed it, I think I have some like early demos from like the rehearsal studio on my computer, and I was like, this is unlistenable. I'm like, oh gosh.
Just
But like
taking
now it's
no.
getting to a point where it's like, now we can actually play it. I retooled some lyrics. Um, Elio likes to call me the lyric doctor. Which is funny because
Brian too.
well, Brian too, yeah. Well, Dr. Bex is like the unofficial term.
Oh, they're a doctor as well. I mean,
Evidently,
yeah.
evidently. uh, well, no, it'd be one of those things where like at one of the points when I was on tour, I'm pretty sure you guys had practiced without me, and you're like, we need Dr. Bex to come back, and I was like, soon, I'll eventually. Um, yeah, so like we kind of, we worked together, doctored up the lyrics, made it, you know, a little easier to roll off the tongue and perform live, and you know, we're going places with it.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
lot.
like, oh, sorry, go ahead, Elio.
Well, I was just gonna say a lot of my lyrics are like word vomit. There's no strategy behind it. Like, I know bands and I've listened to bands talk about like getting boards in the background where they would like write lyrics and thematic ideas and things like that. And that doesn't really work for me. It's all feelings, which is why I think people resonate with the band a lot of the time. Like that's the number one comment I always get when people listen to Knife Throat. They're like, wow, I really like your lyrics. Like they're really like I feel like I'm in a basement with you and you're screaming at me, and I'm like, good. But something that's been kind of fun and it's been awesome for me just as a human being is our bass player Brian. I've been best friends with since third grade, and I was in his first band. He was in a band of mine for 2 years, and he's an incredible bass player. It's insane how good he is at bass, and he picked it up in college, which is crazy because it still feels like he picked it up yesterday for me. But he's been playing and he plays nonstop. But this is the first band I've ever been in with him where he's come to me with like finished songs and songs that we can work on, and he's come to me with lyrics and song ideas, and that's actually been a little bit of a growing pain for me as a musician. Is how different are me and Brian as songwriters, and can we make that mesh? But it's really important to me that we get Brian's voice on the record and we use these songs because Knife Throat is now no longer just the Elio show. I want everyone's voice to be heard, but it is so important for me as Brian's friend and like literally as someone who's known him forever that like his songs get written and played and doctored up and things like that. But it's been awesome because like his songs are good and they're different and they're not me. I'm a big power chord guy. I'll do pop punk power chords for my entire life, but like I'm growing as a musician because Brian's making me play open chords and making me play major chords and minor chords and like even the songs the cool part has been turning the songs he's wrote that are like totally out of left field and giving them that Leo, that Knifethroat touch, turning them more into Knifethroat songs. It's been like a fun process. So like I guess like a fear I have is that you'll listen to the record and you'll see like, okay, here are the Brian songs, here are the Leo songs. But I've been learning to accept that a little bit because that's not a big deal. But also like we have songs that we've written together, which I've never done before. I've been in 4 or 5 bands. I've never written a song with someone else. It's always been here's a completed song. Now add your instruments. But me and Brian wrote songs together, which is awesome. You know,
Yeah,
it's a fun experience.
yeah, I mean, like, it's that thing with being in a band, and like, I'm sure y'all have done it. Like, I mean, in different situations with different bands and stuff like that. But starting a band with like a best friend or anything like that, it can be really difficult. Like you're saying, it's there's a lot of emotion thrown into there. It can be really stressful. People can be sensitive to like, oh, I brought this original idea, and somebody could be like, doesn't really fit with what we kind of normally play, or I don't like that, and people can like really take it to heart. But again, I don't, for some reason, Knifethroat is just like the most mature band that I know, because y'all are just able to really like see anything that could be a flaw and then turn it into gold. I mean, like, and I really like how, and Elio, like, I've known you for quite a while. I've seen all your different bands, and like seeing, you go from like the key writer kind of to, now everybody is sort of a key writer in their own sense. That's really cool. And I think it's just going to shine through on the record. Like you're saying, like, oh, if these are the Brian songs, these are the Beck songs. I mean, you're all incredibly talented musicians that are really just dedicated, as you've been saying, like, to making yourself better, like taking the time, even though it's painstaking, to like improve as musicians. So yeah, I think that's like the best way to look at it, and I'm really happy that that's like how it's been going. And I know you're like, well, I have that little fear, but no, baby is gonna be fucking beautiful. Now, and like, just to like comment on Brian, like, I, full disclosure to anybody watching at home or later on the TikTok or wherever you kids hang out, I got to watch like the same thing that Elio did. Brian just came in to the dorm room with a bass one day, and then it was just walking up the whole thing, slapping, doing crazy stuff. I'm like, who is this man? Where did this come from?
Yeah, Becky, you don't know this, but Harvey lived with Brian for 3 years.
Oh, okay. All right. It all comes full circle.
He's an okay guy, I guess. No, he is like maybe like one of the funniest human beings I know on this earth. And just his taste in music is so and like I know everybody says their taste in music is eclectic, but his is like everything. Like,
oh yeah,
everything. Just go off, tell him it's bad. Perfect. No, but I'm like just so happy to hear that the way y'all are approaching it is like this wholesome thing, and it's really like everybody does that, like, oh well, we're a band of best friends, but like you guys actually are, and you're treating each other respectfully like that. So that's awesome to hear. And speaking of awesome things, that y'all have done, I know y'all have the show coming up on Saturday. But what has been, and respectively, both of y'all, you can go individually. What has been your favorite Knifethroat show? And I'm not talking like venue. We're gonna get into that, like stuff like that, but just your specific favorite show. And it could be like a wholesome moment that happened at the show. It could be anything. Like, what has really made your heart sing at a Knifethroat show?
I have one if you want to think while I'm talking.
I'm gonna think about it. Go for it.
We played Heart Bar in Queens, right? That was Heart Bar? Or was it Bar Frida?
Might have been Frida. Yeah, it was
sure?
Frida.
Frida. Okay, so we played Bar
The one in
Frida.
October, right?
Yeah.
With Worse Off.
Yep. So we played a show in October at Bar Frida in Queens. My friend Max from the band Ultra Deluxe booked it. Shouts to Max. They're also a teacher and they're incredible. they're a nice person, and it was nice of them to book us on the show. But it was the four of us in. It was one of the first shows that for me, it felt like holy shit, we have something. Like we are something. It was a hot crowd. People were really into it. Maybe it was because we were playing on like a real stage, real lights, and a real sound person. Like that was fun. That was really cool. But like, there were people moshing. There were people singing back at me like lyrics of like, I got a couple repetitive lyrics where they're able to copy it, so that wasn't like that big of a deal. But they also knew songs that I wrote, and they said that like, but like, it was the first time it was the first time like we felt like we really were like, for me it felt like, oh, this is it. Like this is like we are performing right now. Like someone is seeing us and they're seeing something good, something big. Like we've played lots of great shows. We've played a lot of good shows. We've been very lucky to play with some really talented people and have promoters and people treat us very kindly. We've always had good receptions when we played, but something about that clicked, and it's continued with every show we've played since then. But where it's felt like we like leveled up, we evolved as a Pokemon. I went from Pidgey to Pidgeotto, and it's like happening.
You really just got to, like, I don't want to just interrupt that beautiful moment there, but you really just have to keep reinforcing this, pop punk ska stereotype with the Pokemon for the kids. I mean, come on, El, we get it. We get it. You're from the 90s. That's great. It's a whole thing, Oh, no, but really, I mean, that is, I think there's no better moment than when you're on stage and it's literally, you're just looking around the room and it like hits you in the chest that like, I'm supposed to be here. The imposter syndrome's BS. This is what it is. That's fucking incredible to hear.
Also, not to cut off Bex, but I'm gonna say one more show because I just remembered it and it was really good. New Jersey, we played. Embrace DIY is the promotion company. Her name's Caroline Romanelli. She's an amazing human being. My favorite. Sorry to everybody else. My favorite person to play for. Also another show that we played, a packed house, and my family was there. Like I had 3 cousins that haven't seen me in years, and one of them cried because she thought I was like famous after we played, which was hilarious.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
It was
cool
really
hell, but
sweet.
she's also 19, so it's like terrifying. But that was really fun. Sorry, Becky, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. No, that was a good one too. And like I'm gonna add to that. So Caroline is awesome. If you need like a DIY space in New Jersey, like she's booked in New Brunswick for years. But the very first show I ever played, like as like a gigging musician, was one of her shows in New Brunswick at the Scarlet Pub. So it was just heartwarming for me to like actually be able to play a show for her in like this new evolved form, because I played a show, the first show I ever played was of course a ska show back in 2017. So to like come back 6 years later and be like, look at how much I've grown, like look at, and she's somebody I keep in touch with regularly but like have not played a show for. Hold on a second. Oh, look who's
Yes!
making an appearance.
Listen, the
There he
podcast is over. Hang on, I gotta get a full shot of that. We gotta zoom in here. Oh my goodness, that is one orange cat with orange cat energy.
Becky, why does it look dead inside? What is he thinking?
He just woke up from a nap.
As soon as you said it looks dead inside, he looked, Elio. Nice.
Yeah,
Got
he's
that
like, what?
1,000-yard stare.
I know. His brain cell is just not, he doesn't have the brain cell right now.
They all have one at a time, and sometimes it's shared. Like my wife's sister has a golden retriever who we just refer to as the Noodle because there's only one.
Noodle.
Yeah, she's got no bones.
Chuck just he doesn't have the brain cell right now, or rather, maybe it's booting up. Is your brain cell booting up?
Chuck is such a good name for a cat too.
His government name is Charles Entertainment Half Pound of American Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese for short, but we just call him Chuck.
Wow, bringing back the mozzarella Chuck E. Cheese energy is really coming full circle here. This is bad, people, but ska is so good.
Listen, you said it first.
That's true. It's true. I'm pretty awful there. Go on though.
Okay, yeah. So favorite show, but yeah, Caroline rocks. book shows with her, embrace DIY all over the social media. But no, my favorite show that we've played so far with Knifethroat actually is a show we weren't even supposed to play. We were called upon at the 11th hour to play. So even though we are not a ska band, right? Despite the fact that I am in a touring ska band, Knifethroat is not a ska band. But we are friends of ska. That's how I like to let people know. We have what, 4 bars of upstrokes in one of our songs?
4.
Um, approximately four bars of upstrokes. Um, but with that said, I'm also pretty tightly involved in the Ska Punk International community. They are an independent record label that's based out of Texas, but I mean they like have bands from all over the world on the label. They started as a podcast in 2020 and then really expanded to like start doing distro for ska punk bands that maybe didn't have like a home necessarily on like a record label. Um there's one record label out there that's like really doing the bulk of the ska stuff, and that's Bad Time Records, which my other band is on. Not a shameless self-promotion
Yeah,
plug or
nothing,
anything.
nothing about that. Just like put the Venmo in there and the Patreon, on the side.
Yeah, right. Um but no, Ska Punk International is also doing great work with making sure that bands really have a way to distribute their music and helping to market them and such. So they were putting on like a mini festival in Asbury Park over the summer, and they originally had 5 bands lined up for it, and 2 of the bands had to drop the week of because members came down with COVID. Um, and I'm friendly with all of the bands who were on that bill. So one of them had texted me, one of the ones that had to drop had texted me and was like, "Hey, does Knifethroat want to play?" So I said, "You know what? It's a Sunday night, might be tough." I'm like, "But I'll shoot the shot." So a few text message exchanges later, the troops rallied around and we made it work. So we played a set. It was it was nice because literally every person who was there in attendance bought merch from all of
Oh,
the bands.
that's
Um,
so wholesome. Oh my goodness.
it was also all ages, so like there was one younger guest at the show, and he was like having a field day, and like his parents were just like so happy to have him be part of like the local DIY scene too, which is just like raise him right, start him young.
Exactly.
Um, so it was cool because even though like we weren't the ska band there, like everybody was still super into it. And it was also nice to play in a not ska band for all of my ska friends.
Mm.
Or like to at least let them see that, because like when people go, "Oh, Bex, yeah, they're from Joystick," like, they they play thrashy ska core, and I'm like, no, I sing too. Watch me do it. Um, so like, and it was cool, but it was also a huge testament of like how cohesive this band really is. The fact that we were able to, get everybody together and everybody was free and everyone was like, yeah, we can do it. Um, and the fact that like they also we had a discussion about it afterwards, and it was like they knew like the show meant a lot to me too. So the fact that like we can recognize when opportunities mean a lot to everybody else and like really support and uplift each other. I was like, oh, you guys,
Oh
like
man.
it's nice. So because like I don't know, we don't have any egos here. Nobody has a chip on their shoulder. Like we're all interested in helping each other out in whatever way we can and supporting each other. The show that I'm playing tomorrow night, filling in for my friends in Power Up, like, you know, Elio's not even playing that show. Knifethroat's not even playing that show, but they're still going to show up and support. Sam might even show up too.
Yeah.
That
So,
Well, that
yeah.
was like I remember. It was funny watching Becky's reaction. Becky played in Brooklyn last summer, right? Was that or last spring with
yeah, last spring with Joystick. Yeah.
with joystick and flying raccoon suit, and for months and months and months, Becky was telling me, "Elio, you got to listen to Flying Raccoon Suit. They're so good. They're so talented. They're my really good friends. They're so important to me. And you got to see the live show. It's crazy." So I remember for a week after I found out the show was happening. I was like, yeah, of course I'll go support Becky. And me and Sam, our drummer, went to the show. And not only did we watch Bex, we watched Flying Raccoon Suit. And, we all did it in our own special way. I was dancing along and all that. Sam stood in the back and made an Irish exit like he always does. But, I think the big thing about Knifethroat is like, I know playing in a band with your friends is always great. I always play. I can't be in a band if I'm not friends with them. But I think what's more important with Knifethroat than anything is we all respect each other, and it's respecting our individuality and our own personal lives more than the band. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
respect, like, we respect each other as musicians and mainly as people. So like Beck said, we all knew it was important to Becky to play that show, and it was like, I remember it was funny because Brian never wants to be the bad guy. He'll be the first one to say no to a show. And I don't blame him, but it was funny. I was kind of saying like, oh, I don't know if we can play. It was
Yeah, because
actually
it was a Sunday,
it was
and like
well,
you had just started going back to school, right?
yeah, it was the first Sunday night of the school year. And on top of that, I was going through horrific withdrawal symptoms from energy drinks.
And he finally caught up to you, damn it. Go on.
Well, yeah, believe it or not, Harv, I have not had an energy drink since August.
Round of applause,
Um,
everybody. Everybody at home. That's good job. Proud of you.
Everyone at home is like, "What's the big deal? Who gives a shit?" But I was drinking like I was drinking like 2 to 3 energy drinks a day, and I was going through it when I was at this show. But we rallied, we played the show. I think we put on one of the best sets of the night, and then we set the mood for the rest of the night. And I got to meet people that were important to Becky. Like they talk about constantly Hans Gruber and the Die Hards, and our friends in Mega Infinity played, who I've known for years through playing shows, and these are all people
Sad
that
Snack was there. You got
had,
to meet Sad Snack, or
yeah,
no, Indica and Decay.
Indica and
They're
Decay,
related.
who um played us on their radio show in California and actually took promo shots for their other band, Sad Snack, in a Knifethroat T-shirt. Like that's crazy. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about like the ska community, just because it's almost a meme at this point. But like, listen, if anybody at home, listen, I'll get my full face up here. Maybe I don't know if I can get it up. Listen, I started playing in a ska band when I was a kid as well. That's how it started. Don't let me fool you. I fucking love it. It's a fucking farce. So just ignore it. But no, honestly, truly, I think y'all make like a really important, just note there, and like giving perfect examples of like kind of why we started this channel and kind of stuff like that, but how important community is, and especially community built of friends. Like I always say this, I'm very lucky to have a family. We're all lucky to have family members and stuff like that. A lot of people grow up without stuff like that, but there's something about found family that is just a little bit more superior in my mind, and in so many ways. And being able to find people that you respect and are able to love and share the things you love, and also just put that love back out there, and just this huge fucking love fest erupts across the country to California, international. It's just really cool to see. So I'm also really happy to hear that y'all don't just do that thing, that all bands say like, oh, well, we're really like a family. No, you're like, actually, you have that respect. And Elio, you brought up the point before, really kind of putting the band, in the back burner when y'all need to, and, you need to focus on real life is so important, because, you have so many DIY bands that burn themselves out so early on from just feeling like, this is everything. I'm going to throw all my money at it. And like, they're gone in a month. And then like, also, I mean, like, being able to show up for your friends too, like knowing that these events are important for each other. Like, oh, like that might be a tough one to make it work, but like Becky would really love this and it would mean a lot to her, and like, oh, Brian can't do this show. That's understandable. Let's chill for a night. It's just, I have a lot of respect for y'all. There's so many bands that don't appreciate the community or just each other for what they are and the opportunity you get to play. And it's part of getting older and being with so many bands. Y'all have been with so many different bands and had so many different opportunities and experiences. So I'm just really glad to hear that, it's this honest thing. And I think that is like, Elio mentioned it a bit earlier, but that's like the heart of Knifethroat, just brutal honesty and emotion. And it shows in the songs too. I mean, like, the lyrics, like back when I was seeing Knifethroat, like in the Gen 1 phase too, like Elio taking the time and be like, I wrote this song because I was sad. It makes me feel better. Like literally on stage, just being like straight to the point and be like, oh yeah, my dad hates when I play sad songs, kind of in the background and point him out. It's just a really cool thing to see. So yeah, that's fucking incredible. Incredible answers, y'all.
Harvey, real quick,
yeah,
just because you'll appreciate this little side note, and I know Becky will get a kick out of it too.
Go for it.
Harvey also knows my dad, Becky.
Oh, okay, good.
My dad had driven us both home from Oneonta when we went to school there, and Harvey's old band went on tour, stayed at my house, so my dad got a kick out of that. When my dad came to our Knifethroat's first full band show ever on Long Island, and Harvey was there with his wife, and my dad was getting a kick out of the whole thing where he was like, oh, he's always so sad and all that. Am I a bad father? I didn't, and he's dramatic.
I think he gave me the whole shtick at Frida too.
So Harvey, he came to the Bar Frida show, and that meant a lot to me. Because he saw, all my friends were there. A bunch of people were there. There were, 30, 40 people, which is not a lot. But for me, it's significant.
We brought the crowd.
That's all right. Listen,
I'm just gonna say it.
That's a lot. Crowd,
the crowd was there for us. But my dad pulled me aside after the set. And he was like, I get it. Like, this is the best you guys have. This is the best you've ever been. This is the best band you've ever been in. Like, you guys are a real deal. People were really into it. Like, they were going nuts. And I'm like, hell yeah, Dad, thanks.
Just like, that's cool, Dad. I guess just fucking like drowning the venue in tears. Oh man. Yeah, oh my god, incredible. Just what a champ too on top of that. I mean, it takes a very special type of parent and a very special type of person to just host random bands in your home and you wake up in the morning with fresh bagels. I mean, that's all you got to say to me. But, no, honestly. And I really think that, we're talking about community again and again. I think that is just, part of your family, but part of you, man. I see it, back when you were booking shows, way back in the day too, for other bands, just the importance of like looking out for each other and, it's just really incredible to see. God, I don't want to get choked up on the show. I don't cry. Don't do that. Don't make me feel like that. No.
Crying is punk rock.
It is. It is. And for anybody watching,
while we're talking about the punk rock ethos, I'm just saying, punk is fuck to cry.
No, I'm also totally kidding because every stream I cry and everybody makes fun of me for it on the stream. I might be like, an emotional dude. I don't know. Elio, I cut you off.
Let it out.
I was gonna say we played a show last Friday in Brooklyn, and we were playing awesome show. Solvency was an awesome band from Massachusetts. Joe Mercado from the Bronx, which makes me happy because I love the Bronx. So getting to play with an artist from the Bronx meant a lot. And then Viviana from the band Gutless played, and it was funny because I was wearing a big sweater when we were playing. Like, I thought I wanted to look cool, and I was like, only my face was sweating and I couldn't keep my eyes open. And I was on the microphone. I was like, guys, I promise I'm not crying. It's just really hot. And I think it was Vivi was like, it's okay to cry if you want to. And I'm like, no, I don't think I can.
It's not that situation. You're completely misreading this. Like, oh man. Now, oh man, you're cracking me up. Now we were talking about like the wholesome stuff. And I kind of want to get into like a little bit, like it's a little grimmer, but how has Knifethroat specifically, I mean, we're all here admittedly with anxiety and different stress and stuff, I think that's why we play the type of music we do, and that's like part of the scene. But how has Knifethroat specifically helped y'all, battle anxiety, fears, stress, anything in your personal lives, kind of?
Like, for me, I don't know why, but like, so I have the longest drive out of everybody to get to rehearsal. So admittedly, like you have that paired with like because I'm a chronic migraine sufferer. Like
I'm
I've got
sorry.
it happens.
It's not fun.
No, it sucks. Um, I've got a whole plethora of like other issues and stuff too, but like the anxiety is just constant. So there will be days where I'm like, ah, shit, I committed to practice. Ugh, do I have to? And like I'll just be white knuckling it to practice. Like most of the time I'll have Taco Bell like in my driver's seat. I'll have my Baja Blast on the side and I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
but like I don't know, there's just something about being in their presence though where like as soon as I'm there and as soon as I park and as soon as I like lug my horn into whatever room we're practicing in, like everything's just fine. Like everything just eases away and I'm like, all right, let's fucking do it. Um and I don't know, like it just maybe it's just being in like the company of like good people and like it's another testament to like how like nurturing the folks of Knifethroat are to like my soul and like how much they like fill up my cup. Um, but it's like I get there and I'm like I always leave feeling a lot better than how I showed up. So like yeah, just being able to uh get there, do what I have to do, but also like I don't know, we also just have fun. So like they're also just such a good outlet for me when I'm like really really feeling it. Where I'm like, well, I get to see the knifey boys tonight.
Mm.
Wonder what kind of shenanigans we'll get ourselves into.
Hell
Wonder
yeah.
if it'll be Knife Throat after dark where I do nothing but crack dirty jokes the whole time, like, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's also been good to like I think the fact that we can also be pretty vulnerable with each other too. Cuz like we all know each other. We all talk to each other like, for the most part like we talk to each other outside the band. Elio and I talk, we spill the tea with each other. We, just go off on each other all the time like just to let it out. So like we're very open and vulnerable with each other. So like being able to have safe people to do that with is nice. Um we actually had a funny moment earlier with our drummer Sam and he texted the band chat and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm going through a lot right now." So here I am being like, "Oh, I have to be soft and kind, Bex. I have to go, oh my God, I'm so sorry if there's anything." I started typing out a response. This motherfucker sends a picture of a parking lot that he's driving through,
What the?
literally going through a lot.
Oh my goodness. That's so good. Oh man.
Rocked. Absolutely rocked.
That's like premier like top tier dad joke right there. It's like taken too literal. That's crazy. Oh, that's so good.
That's just how our Sam is. But all this to say, like, even if even if it wasn't a joke, I still would have been like, "Oh my God, buddy, I'm so sorry. We're here for you." Like that's just the relationship we have with each other. So that in itself, though, is like it's just good for us, and it's good for me especially too. So
Yeah, I mean, Elio, you can go off in a sec. But it really sounds like we're gonna get sued for this. But Knife Throat, when you're here, you're family, and everything's okay. But really, I mean, like, I said it again. I know I repeat myself. I do that all the time on this show. But y'all, I just really appreciate, you have bands that take it for granted. And I really am just happy to hear that y'all realize what you have, it's like one of the most powerful things in DIY, in music, but DIY music specifically.
hard too because it's like we also are at the point where I think it comes with age, right? So all of us are like in our 30s and we now understand like this isn't like a beauty pageant. It's not a competition or anything like that. Like we're doing this because we want to. But also like it is a good outlet for all of us. And I think that also helps with like the collaborative spirit. So like if Sam came to us at any point and was like, "Hey, I'm feeling this kind of way. Can we write a song about it?" Any of us would be like, "Yeah, let's go." Um, yeah, so like it's just I think it comes with age. It comes with being able to like let go of the fear of like being judged by one another. Because yeah, I mean, we can just be authentically, unapologetically us, and that rocks.
It's very much that, like you were like in fucking high school and college, everything is the biggest thing in the world and you stress about it 24/7. And then, now you're sitting here, it's like, oh my God, I was such a loser. None of that mattered at all. Like, and it really, the weight of the world is really taken off. So that's great to hear. Papa L?
I can pontificate for hours about emotions and feelings and
Yes,
things
you
like
can.
that. But it's okay not to be okay. And I think that's been my number one thing with Knifethroat is I wrote that original demo out of a really vulnerable place. At the time when I wrote it, I was quarantining by myself in a one-bedroom apartment in a building with like 500 other people in it in the epicenter of the COVID outbreak in New York. New Rochelle was where the first New York case of COVID happened. And I was really struggling, really, really struggling with my mental health and really big death anxiety where I was afraid of dying every second of every day. And,
It's the
that,
best.
yeah, it changed me. I haven't been the same since COVID, but as I've gotten more mature and I've found myself on a stage and I found myself even like in my classroom when I'm at work and I'm teaching, I really just want to remind people that it's okay to feel things and it's okay to be open and honest with your feelings and what you go through, and that it's like I said before, it's okay not to be okay. I tell my students all the time, I tell my friends, like, hey, like, you can be bummed out, like, you can be depressed. There doesn't have to be a good reason for you to be depressed. You could just be depressed. Like, life is really, really difficult all the time. So like it's okay if you go out of your, like, if you have a little thing for yourself that makes you feel a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? So like in terms of the songwriting and where I've been at, there's still a lot in my feelings, a lot with anxiety, a lot with dealing with that. But a lot of it too is frustration that I've been writing about. I had a conversation with somebody that was in the band in a previous rendition where they told me, they're like, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just sad about how the world is and what's going on. And that really stuck with me. I really didn't like admitting that. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm still mad and I'm angry that things are the way they are, that capitalism is the way it is, that the government does what they do and that the working class suffers and the working class people suffer. So a lot of these newer songs are a little bit angrier and a little bit more directed than more self-reflective. So we'll see once they come out and how you hear them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear it all. I can't stop. I'm just gushing about y'all, like being so honest and like open about this. And like, thank you, one, for, projecting, really focusing on, the importance of mental health. And like you said, it's okay to not be okay. And just using your passion, the thing you love, to like put that out into the world and help people understand, like, yeah, life is fucking difficult. Death anxiety, I'm with you. I have it constantly, in therapy for it, and all that. Horrified of losing my wife, like 24/7. So yeah, I'm happy that it's an outlet for both of y'all, but I'm happy that you're also making Knifethroat an outlet, to make the world better, but also help other people. It's like really admirable. So yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for like all the honest opinions on this. I don't want to keep y'all too much longer because I know we had a hard out around, 10. I don't know if y'all still want to stick around.
Well, you have some questions for us, right? Didn't you have like a written, like, or someone emailed, a baby emailed
We
us?
do
You
have
told
the
me?
patron questions. I wanted to know if you had the time to stick around. I didn't want to, like push y'all out, or like, we could probably do like 10, 15.
I'm down to clown.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do 10, 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Becky,
Yeah.
I'm being the baby here because I gotta wake up early. But
Yes, you do.
Oh yeah, I would do like a 3-hour podcast with y'all. Like, and y'all, like, compared to like, listen, a lot of our guests like to talk, but y'all, you like to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling it, and like, that's part of why y'all are my favorite guests, because I don't have to talk. It's great, y'all can just like pontificate.
Becky and I got big fucking mouths.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm a bit of a blabbermouth myself. But oh hey, first time chat from Dom T585. And is that, let me just see. Hey, thank you for the follow. Yeah, and speaking of follows, yeah, it's question time, people. We're at the end of the night. I have like fucking 50 more questions, but you know, sometimes you gotta give up the goat there and give up the goose and you know, kick them in the teeth. So let's do that now. One, anybody watching on Twitch, now is your time to be asking the questions. We're gonna start with a patron question first. So while we're doing that, y'all, please think of your questions, get them in the Twitch chat, so I don't have to hunt you down like a freaking animal. Wait, I lost you. I lost the chat because that's just me. So the question from a tiny baby, our friend Chelsea's baby, Joni Levine. Let's pull that up on Patreon for y'all right now.
Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Mark.
And yeah, thank you to Chelsea and Mark, and specifically the child for donating, you know, their $3 hard-earned dollars to a Patreon tier right there. And the baby can now pick whatever games they want, download the podcast, do all of that. Where is our question?
Fun fact, real quick, babies love Knifethroat.
Where is the onesie? Have you made one?
We got asked. Our bass player's sister has a child who's like 2. And she did ask us to make merch for the child, but that's expensive.
I have the sheets to like print out a design here. I just have to like actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you all are like incredibly busy people playing in other bands, working as, you know, 30-year-olds dealing with anxiety. It's not like, you know, you just have all the free time in the world, you know. So don't rush it. It will come out great.
It was funny. I played acoustic in Brooklyn at a house show with this amazing band called Frog Legs from Pittsburgh, who everyone should listen to that's here. Nano and all of them are fantastic people. But I was playing my set, and it was for a couple families, and these like 2 babies were just staring at me into my soul as I was playing, and I think I really reached them with my music.
Wait, wasn't there a time you also played acoustic in Oneonta or something? And there was, while you were playing
Oh no,
songs
that was
from dead bands, there was like a kid in like a Little Tykes car that when you
yeah.
went, I crashed my car the other day.
Oh my fucking
Yeah,
and there was a little kid in the car who like crashed into the tent or something.
Yeah, so that was in Brooklyn at Misfit Kava Bar. Shouts out to Misfit, my homies. I was singing a song where the lyrics are, "I crashed my car today," and a tiny child in a Tykes red and yellow car crashed into a fence while I was singing it.
That's so damn like poetic right there.
Like, there's a video of it somewhere, but I remember seeing it and I was like, "This is great."
Listen, send us that clip. That needs to go up, people. That's some premium Knifethroat content. And speaking of, you know, babies that are obsessed with Knifethroat, so the question from Joni Levine, and y'all can answer this separately. Would you rather own a dragon or be a dragon?
Dragons are majestic creatures and you cannot own them, so I would be a dragon.
Fair point.
I was gonna say I would probably be a dragon. I could do so many things as a dragon.
Dragons are good with riddles. I wish I could be good at riddles.
Yeah, me too. We just did like an escape room game last weekend with our friends, and I was just sitting there like zoning out into space as my friends were like, "What does it mean? What does it mean?"
I mean,
like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, you get to like eat treasure in some, you know, gold. You get to hoard it. That's not bad, you know, helps with the bills a little bit, you know, get some new Knifethroat merch, get some stickers, stuff like that. It's very weird because on the last podcast, the Slappy Hour one where we all came back, our host Ryan is having a baby, and we were all just saying horrible things like, you know, what is this thing gonna be? What is it gonna come out like? And somehow it led to a very in-depth conversation about how Donkey and the Dragon and Shrek made babies, made a little hybrid dragon monster baby donkey thing. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. That's very relevant. So thank you, Joni, and thank you, the Levines, for the question there. We have a question in the chat from Dom T585. How did the name Knifethroat come about?
My mom.
You can't just. It's not just like a your mom joke. Please, there's got to be more there.
My sophomore year of high school, or no, it was my junior year of high school. I was watching the TV show Dexter with my mom. We were obsessed with it. We watched every season together. And a guy got stabbed in the throat, and my mom goes, "Huh, Knifethroat. That'd be a good band name." And so my old pop punk band had a name at the time. My second pop punk band, I have demos on my computer that say Knifethroat Demos, and it's from my pop punk band when we were like kind of trying to be a hardcore band. And then we stuck with the name Ladder Match, and then I thought solo, I was like, I have to use that name. My mom made it, so there we go.
That is an incredible name. I don't know why Knifethroat's just got to be the most wholesome band we've ever had on this show. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, damn, moms know best for real. I agree. I got one more question from y'all. From my end, it's a personal question, being that y'all have both, toured across the country, have so many, different musical experiences. Got a real hard-hitting emotional question to end on. What is the best pizza, or where is the best pizza?
Oh, no.
Yeah. We don't have to go country. We can just be cool. We'll do the tri-state area.
You're going to start a fight between me and Becky.
I want a bloodbath. I want some knives and some throats. Don't Twitch. Don't. We're good. Don't get us in trouble with it.
It's New York pizza.
Do you have a specific, place, though? A joint?
Four Bros Pizza in New Rochelle, New York. Some of the best pizza I ever had in my entire life. Pizza La Rosa in New Rochelle, also fantastic. And shouts out to Russo's Pizza in Pearl River, New York. They used to feed me and my friends for years, and they have fed many a touring band.
All right. Now, Becky, I sense some hostility coming Elle's way.
She's either going to say Staten Island or New Jersey.
So here's the thing. I was raised on Brothers from Staten Island. They're Sicilian pizza. My dad's from Staten Island, so that was always the gold standard of Sicilian, and still to this day, whenever I get just a regular Sicilian pie, I'm like, Brothers is better. But I've found my places in New Jersey, so listen, it's basically the same thing, all right?
No.
That's my stalemate. It's basically the same thing.
Unless it's made with the dirty Hudson River water, it is not good pizza.
Okay, but hold on. Counterpoint here. What about dirty Raritan Bay water?
Raritan Bay water is going to give you a third eye.
Well, that's why it makes the pizza so good.
I can say the worst pizza I've ever had in my entire life was in Montana.
That checks out. That tracks.
Yeah,
worst pizza I've ever had was in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, which is basically Philly land at that point. For being so close to Atlantic City, it's still basically Philly. And yeah, that pizza's disgusting.
Philly pizza's so rough. It's so rough.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and by proxy, there's a lot of bad pizza in South Jersey. North Jersey has great pizza, and Central can be hit or miss, but I don't know. I found my spots in my area, and I'd like to shout out Pasquale's Pizzeria 3 in Middletown, New Jersey, for having the most bomb vegan pizzas.
Ooh.
They make a really slammin' vegan mac and cheese pie that you can also get garlic knot crust.
Ooh.
Incredible. It's so good.
How long does it take for me to drive? Just gotta map that up. No, garlic fucking not crust.
Although if you go to Gregorio's, though, they also have garlic knot crust. Because that's our go-to when we're visiting our friends or some more of our family is Gregorio's in Massapequa.
I mean,
even though they delivered our pizza to the wrong place last weekend. So.
Never mind. No, they're burned. They're canceled.
It was a weird mess up, but their eggplant parm was really good, so I'll give them that too.
All right, I'm gonna have to check them out.
Now I want eggplant parm.
Yeah, now I'm like, I ate a huge lunch. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna make it through this podcast. I am starving right now, and this is not helping. Yeah, y'all.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Are you kidding me? It's pizza. There's nothing wrong with it, Well, unless it's from Jersey, I would say, or California as well, though. Oh my gosh, like I went out like last time I was out there, I had a bagel and fucking pizza, and it was just like, why try? What are you doing?
Yeah,
It's rough.
I
It's so
good.
rough.
I actually had decent pizza in New Orleans. It's funny because my bandmates are always like, "You've got to try this pizza place," and I just like groan and roll my eyes, and they're like, "No, really, like you got to try it." So one of the last times I was down there, my bassist, who like, I mean, he's New Orleans like born and raised, and like still lives in the city proper. He's always the one like showing me around and like telling me, "Oh, you've got to go to this spot and that spot." So we went to go get like beer and brats somewhere like in the Bywater in New Orleans. And I mean it was late at night, but we were walking past some of the shops and he goes, "Oh, this is a decent pizza place." He's like, "But I want to know your opinion." So, yeah, actually not this last time that I was there, but the time before. I had like a ton of flight delays, whatever. I didn't end up getting there until like the day after I was supposed to be there. So the first thing wanted to do was just eat. So he was like, "Oh, we could go to that pizza place." I'm like, "Fine, whatever, I'll do it." Um, and it was actually fine. I was like, "Okay, this is." But like bagels in New Orleans, no, they can stick to French bread.
There you go.
Tell Harvey about your saxophone case full of bagels.
Please tell me this happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so here's the thing that I do is and there's photographic proof of it too. So whenever I go down to New Orleans, which like at least between September and last month, I was there once a month playing some local shows. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. So usually for most of the trips, like, I fly with my horn. I buy it a seat so it sits next to me.
That's
It gets the window seat because it has to.
That's such a baller move. Sorry, just had to put that out there.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
Nah, thank you. Badass or stupid, I don't know. But because I keep my horn in like in a hard shell case that has like a molded plastic inside, and also to cut down on the number of like personal items I'm bringing on. What I'll do is like when I go through the TSA checkpoint, have my bagels all in a bag. I'll usually have them in Ziploc bags, whatever. And like I'll bring my bandmates bagels. So go through security with them, and then as soon as I'm in the terminal, I just put them in the horn case so that way, because there's a decent amount of room, so that way they don't get squished or anything like that, and they make it safely to their destination. But usually whoever's house I'm staying at, like the deal is like, if you let me crash in your guest room or on your couch, like I'm bringing you bagels for the next week.
That's absolutely genius. If you're from the tri-state, anywhere time you leave the tri-state area, every family member or friend is asking for bagels. They're like, please just bring a dozen up. So you've broken the mold and found the hack. So
That's right.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
There was, that's what I wanted to end on with you. Oh, yeah, let's see the case if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. My cats were actually just knocking it over. So I was like, oh, this is perfect timing. But yeah, literally, it's a hard shell case, and like once my horn fits in it, just open it up and it just lives right towards the top in the bell compartment, and that's how they get there.
The old bagel holder, as they call it.
That's right.
Now,
who needs a horn when you can transport bagels in it?
Exactly. Start throwing out bagels at Knifethroat shows. Like, yeah, I think the crowd will just love it.
That's a very New York thing to do. I like it.
Right?
I like that too.
Yeah, just at least once. Please, just one show. I'll film the whole thing. It will be great. I'll like get multicam set up for it. GoPros on the horn and everything. It'll be sick. And we're gonna let y'all go in literally a minute because it's Papa L's bedtime. We got a Mario stream for charity we gotta get to. Maybe I'll stay up till like 1:30 and beat Mario Wonder. Probably not. I don't know. I'm tired.
I beat it with my students last week. We were playing it in gaming club, and I did the whole last world with them.
The secret one or the real?
The vanilla one, not the secret one.
Okay, yeah, because our executive producer Donkey Cousin is always like, "Oh man, like just don't do the secret one. Your hands can't take it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give the carpal tunnel a little rest and just enjoy life a little." But you talk about New Orleans. when this album is out, are we gonna see maybe Knifethroat down in Nolans? Are we gonna see Knifethroat at Fest? I don't know. Put Knifethroat on Fest, put Knifethroat on Fest, put Knifethroat on Fest. There you go. We got it out there. I had to manifest that there. Sorry.
So realistically, it all depends.
Wow, that great, Elio. Just realistically, go ahead.
Well, no, it truly depends because Becky and I are down. We would probably have to get in a fill-in bass player because Brian's got a big boy job that keeps him busy and he can't really deal with the travel. Yeah, Harp, with your carpal tunnel hands, you'll play all the bass notes.
Yeah, and it, like, you know, not even pick style, like walking and shit. I'm sure that's gonna really just, you know, keep the longevity of my digits going. That would be great. Go on though.
And Sam, I think, is open to traveling. It's just, you know, we got to be curious because he can be a little, you know, we all need. I'm not 19 anymore. I can't book a random show without us having a place to stay and then taking 4 people and making them sleep on a carpet. You know, like,
Yeah,
I've done my time. I've slept on a concrete floor. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that to my friends. But there's a couple spots that personally I would like to play this year that are on my list, and that includes Massachusetts. Our friend Ian is a booker there that plays in Solvent Sea. They're in a folk punk project called the North Haven. They play with a band called Blue Raspberry. And they want to book us in Massachusetts. I would like to make that happen. I want to go to Massachusetts. I would also very much so want to play Baltimore. Becky has a lot of friends in Baltimore, and I would like to expand our states. We've played 3 states so far. We've played New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. I would like to do that. I want to go back to Pennsylvania. There is a person over there named Katie that booked us over the summer who I loved playing for her, and I would love to play for her again. And then New Orleans is a lot more possible than it sounds because Sam and I want to go on vacation in New Orleans. So, like, if there's instruments for us to play, we'll play them. So,
It's New Orleans. There are always instruments to play.
I feel like Knifethroat would like.
So many.
Yeah, Knifethroat specifically, like with all the mix of like crust punk too. I think y'all would really do well down there.
Yeah. So travel is in the cards. The main thing we want to do is finish this record, but it's still early in the year. I'm probably going to book us a little summer thing again. We did a weekender last year that was really successful. We actually made money, which I've never done before in my life. But
we have a band fund for a
Yeah.
year-old band, you know, like
It's a big deal.
like
That's cool.
we haven't paid for merch. We put a down payment on t-shirts and then we immediately made all the money back.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
we fronted money and immediately like paid everybody back, which was like awesome, you
Yeah.
know.
That's incredible.
So the writing is the main priority. I'm actually going to text Becky and Brian probably tomorrow to see if they want to practice, not next week, but the week after when I'm on my February break, do a writing session. I'll take the thumbs up as a yes.
Always down to clown, dude.
So, but no, expect us places. We'll be playing some shows.
All right, and
Yeah. I think aside from this being the year of the album, I definitely think that once we have everything done and we have more things assembled to play for people, then yeah, I think we definitely see ourselves being a little bit more ambitious with travel, but just like anything else, that's something that we're gonna have to talk about as a band to be like, what are the expectations? What are the limitations? Does anybody have any boundaries or anything like that? But New Orleans would be cool for us to do. We could easily make something cool happen. And also, our drummer has a list on Yelp of all the places he wants to go to when he's in New Orleans, and he sent it to me to like kind of vet the list and be like, are any of these places worth it? And like things like that. So I think that would also just like, that sounds like it would be really, really fun for all of us.
the food choices are god dang overwhelming down there. Like, yo, you gotta stop by Cafe Du Monde, wait for like an hour or two just to get a fucking beignet. You know, it's insane.
You gotta go to Cafe Beignet for that.
Oh man. All right, if Knifethroat's going, you know, if y'all need like a roadie or something and I can get out of
We're
work.
going on a food tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
the
We'll
all
go
shows.
hit all the barbecue.
Elio goes to Hey Cafe in New Orleans and stays there for 4 days.
I mean,
Shout out to Hey Cafe. That's actually run by Greg and D-Ray of Community Records, who also were in Fatter Than Albert, but currently are, and D-Ray was in Flaming Tsunamis, but the two of them are leading the charge with Bad Operation down there now too. But Hey Coffee is like, what a great spot. I'm there at least once per trip.
hell yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have, a rumored, I'm just going to like send out random tweets throughout the year. Rumored Nolan's Knifethroat tour coming up. It's going to be a Yelp review whole thing. You're going to Yelp review the venues too at the same time. There will be bagels.
We'll call it the Big Bad Barbecue Tour.
That
Really.
That's that is where we're ending the episode. That is the perfect place. Thank you for ending it so gracefully. But before we go, y'all, I just want to pull up real quick for everybody watching at home or later on the clips. I'm going to pull up right now because we're talking about supporting y'all. So let me see if this will come up while we do this. It might not because I'm not professional. Yeah, I want people to know where to support y'all. So let me just get this. It's really good when I do this live too.
Doing a loading dance.
Can I shout out a bunch of bands while you're doing that?
Please.
Listen to Cold Rex. Listen to Craig Shea. Listen to Worse Off. Listen to Power Up. Listen to The Best of the Worst. There's so many other bands that we're friends with. But yeah, like, I don't know. It was funny. You were saying before Elio's going to the show just to support. It's literally people I've known since I was like 15. So of course I'm going to go to this show.
As soon as I saw that lineup drop, I was like, oops, all homies. Like, it's literally people that I love. So
yes.
Very stoked on it.
And
Joker's Republic is playing it.
Yes, Becky tour manages Joker's Republic, and
I don't tour manage. Don't start rumors, Elio.
Start rumors.
I'm not the GM. They have a guy for that. Hi, Derek.
One thing I'm gonna say, and then I'll let Harvey do his thing. And I say it at the end of every set, and I'm gonna say it with my last breathing breath. Make art. I know everyone that's in this chat, anyone that watches the videos, whatever it is, you need to make art. I don't care how insignificant it is. I don't care if it's a doodle on an iPad, if it's putting a puzzle together with your partner at night. You need to be creative, and you need to do things that are creative. The world is built to make us feel less than and bad, so create art to fight up against that. Thanks.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that puzzle comment was really directed at someone.
Well, no, Jenna also started a puzzle.
That's right. My partner and I are puzzle people. So
y'all too. Do you know those? All right. So we're all just admitting that we're puzzle people here. We just got those puzzles where it's like they're all like fantasy based. They start as one thing. You finish the puzzle, but then you can rearrange it and you like do a second level of. I'll send y'all this. It's insane.
No, I don't play puzzles.
You don't. You don't.
Nope.
Well, just another thing. You don't cry, and you also don't play puzzles. Just. I have nothing left to say. My ADHD is like Orange Cat, must focus. Perfect. Y'all, before we go, I just want everybody to take a look right here if it shows up again. Yes. Please go support Knifethroat over on the Bandcamp. It's the best way to support them besides going to see them live. Buy the albums, get some merch, do all that. And, oh, wait, stickers. Stickers, do we got them? Can we show the stickers? If you can, it's okay.
Another room.
No,
Becky,
don't
throw Chuck and go.
Oh no, they're in the car.
Don't worry about it.
So I don't forget them for tomorrow.
Ceaselessly,
we have a couple stickers. If you order, we also have patches.
Please buy them.
Can I plug us?
Yeah.
Plug the shit out of y'all.
Okay. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if this was the time. knifethroatny.bandcamp.com is where our merch lives. So we have patches for sale. We'll have our one remaining 2XL t-shirt once we get a reprint on shirts from our buddy Duck at Mega Huge Merch. Then we'll be able. Happy birthday, Duck. Duck is lead singer of Joystick, for those who don't know. Today's his birthday. He's 45. Go Duck. I only say that because he doesn't look 45, and everyone all day has been like, what? Which has been really funny. So once we get more shirts, we're going to put them up. But for now, patches, We have stickers. If you want to throw us like $1 donation, we will mail you stickers. Um, yeah. Honestly, Spotify follows help a lot for anyone using Spotify. Um, helps to bolster those numbers, even though numbers are dumb. Um, but we also have a link tree, and we're gonna be posting around a flyer that has a QR code that takes you to our link tree within the next like 24 hours probably. So wherever you choose to stream your music, it's all there. But keep an eye out for those Bandcamp Fridays because we'll have stuff.
All right. Oh, Elio, go ahead. Is there anything else?
No, I was just gonna say the Spotify thing helps a lot. Following us, putting us on playlists. My big thing is music and community is so important to me. I want to meet more bands that I can play with and meet more bands that I can be friends with. So if there's a band that you think we fit with, even if they're states away, like tag us, tag them, let us support each other. Like right now, one of my most anticipated albums is oh my goodness, what's Alon's other band, Becky? The ska band.
Sad Snack?
Sad Snack. They're awesome. They're like literally they sound like Reviver but a ska band, and they put out a track last year called Revival, which was like one of my most played songs. So like I don't know any of them. I know Alon personally, but no one else. And I really am excited to play with them and get that album out. So just connect us.
Yeah, they put on a great live show too. I had the privilege of seeing them last year at Ska Punk International's first festival down in Austin. Sad Snack had played, and yeah, they were awesome. So the day that Knifethroat can like finally link up with them and we could join forces and share a show together is going to be super, super rad. Super stoked for that whenever that may be. So we'll just keep manifesting it.
That's what you got to do.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, for those of you who interact with us on social media and such, we're Knifethroat NY on basically everything. So yeah, feel free to tweet at us. Elio runs their Twitter. We share custody over the Instagram account. So build those dream lineups. Let us know who we should be listening to and who we should be making besties with, and we'll do it.
Oh yeah, and just after the self plug, so everybody can see while this is going. Knifethroat.bandcamp.com/merch. Also, though, remember the Spotify follows so important. The playlist so important. Pre-saving everything. Go follow them. It helps them get discovered. Spotify follows are like pretty much like one of the most important things you can do for DIY bands right now. And yeah, one last thing before we go for them, I'm gonna pull this up 1 second. I just had it up, and of course it closes on me while we're doing this because I'm just the fucking host with the most. Your Instagram isn't loading, and I just want to show them the flyer for the show. Also, that's why I found out at the beginning of the stream, that's why the stream was tanking, because Instagram is a resource hog. For anybody who doesn't stream. And I can't even click on your stuff.
Oh no.
Well, this is embarrassing. Y'all want to give me the details of the show on Saturday one more time while I try and get Instagram to follow the rules?
Yeah, so Saturday, February 10th, I will not be there, but you should go anyway. Yonkers Brewing Company in Yonkers, New York. It is going to be Pints and Power Chords, hosted by the 914 Collective. So that'll be music by Worse Off, Anti-Noun, Eager Sales, and of course, us. Yeah,
you go on first, so come at 8 o'clock.
Yep, Knifethroat goes on first, so doors open at 7:30. It is a $12 in advance, $15 day of show event. So
Yonkers has been real lit lately. I was at a show a couple weeks ago to go see some local Sweet Lillian and We Are Not Our Bodies, or not Sweet Lillian, We Are Not Our Bodies and Honey Days, and it was crazy. And apparently they had a show last week that was like 250 people and a tattoo artist in the bar. So you want to make it out to the 914. 914 is on top right now, baby.
Hell yeah.
Support your local scene.
Yeah, listen, I saw AJ with all that stuff he's got going on. Big things coming, baby, Well, y'all, it has been incredible. Thank you for spending the time with us and like the time with me. It's been great to talk to y'all. Literally, we're talking so much that it's, we're past Elio's bedtime. So hopefully we can do this again. Throughout the recording process, maybe later in the year we'll have y'all back. If y'all ever want to come on and play games, do anything like that, we're here. But yeah, again, thank you, Knifethroat. Y'all are incredible. It's been such an honor and a privilege getting to talk to y'all. Everybody watching at home, thank you for joining as you always do. Thank you for donating any of the dollars you have. I know the economy is tough, but thank you for donating to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And as always, kick them in the gosh dang teeth. We love y'all. Bye-bye.